Hey everybody, excited for another studio session. Today we are going to focus on some of the new tools that are available inside of the Invoke experience, specifically how to use tools like Flux Fill and Flux Redux, and how you can use those tools together on the canvas to really get a lot of control and do some fun things. As we play around with tools today, we'll focus on understanding the utility of these tools and how they can be put into your workflow. Excited to kick off. We'll go ahead and get started. What I'm going to show you is I'm actually going to take from one of our older sessions. We've got this Elven city that we kind of had created. And then I'm going to show you like an interesting way that we are going to see it be used. So I'm going to bring this into the raster layer. We'll do a resize here just so that we're like working on the right size. So this is what we created in a previous studio session when we were doing our establishing shot, right? We created this. Wow, what an incredible image. I still look at this every day when I wake up and I think to myself, you did it. You made something beautiful. But today we're going to change this image, right? We're going to use Flux Fill to understand how it works and the ways that we can use it to control things. So I'll switch over to the Flux Fill model. Flux Fill is its own model. It's not something that is the same base model. It's not just a tool in that toolkit. It actually is a completely different model, and it works a little bit differently. The way that you're going to want to use it when you are on the canvas is you're going to want to do one of two things. You can use your Inpaint mask, which will, effectively inpaint that one region. What you can also do is on the raster layer, you can erase what you want to have erased. Either of these is going to be acceptable. But this is the mental model that I would encourage you to take when you're using the Flux Fill model. It is replacing what's there. You are telling it what is on this hill. And so, we can come up with our prompt. Okay, y'all really like Panda cities. Let's see, somebody else asked, can we replace the masked area with an existing image? Now that is the technique that we're going to try next. So we are going to use Flux Redux. And what Flux Redux does, let's just see what it does. Let's save this image. Now I'm going to use Flux Redux. And so we'll go back to the Flux base model. And I'm not even going to use a prompt. We're going to clear our layers out. And I'm going to use this as a global reference image. I'm going to use Flux Redux. And the way to think about Flux Redux is it looks at the image and it basically just is like the strongest prompt ever of what it thinks it sees. It almost completely overrides your text prompt. You really have a lot less control than a traditional IP adapter. There's not a weight setting. There's not a whole lot you can do to kind of like tame this on the canvas. You have to almost do like different tricks. We're going to kind of see what it comes up with and just see what the base functionality of the Flux Redux is. Still a panda on a hill, still a river. So you can see how it kind of took that inspiration and worked with it. Take this out and just kind of compare. And we got our old image here and our new one. Now the new one does have the traditional Flux plasticiness. This again is the base model. So this isn't one of the fine-tuned Flux models. This isn't anything that's like specifically trained. It is just the base model. But you can see that it effectively understood what was going on in the image and kind of injected that in. So that's kind of how Redux works by itself. What I'm going to do is I've got a kind of like a video game level type thing, and I'm going to inject that in as a Flux Redux. And we're going to give that a shot. We're going to try, an aerial video game type level. See if we can kind of get a decent variation of this. Not too bad, not too shabby. Not entirely sure what some of this stuff is, but is this perfect? Perhaps not, but we got a variation on something, and I would say it's not too shabby. Not too shabby. Let's compare it. So obviously Flux isn't doing this kind of like PlayStation era texture very well, but it did pretty decent at kind of like 3D aerial view, and it kind of like interpreted this a little bit. We're going to want to make this better. But what we can do is we can now use this base for injecting stuff in. Now the question I'm asking myself now is, do I want to try to like retexture this with Flux Dev? Let's try it. We'll do a new control. we'll do the depth model for Flux. I'm not using anything else. Somebody asked, will it change much if you use a prompt? Flux Redux really just overrides your prompt. I've yet to feel successful prompting against Flux Redux, so most of the time I just leave it empty. But now we got this kind of like depth map. We're going to do like a higher denoising here, and we're going to do probably go for more photorealistic. Done writing our essay. Now we're going to try this kind of like transformation piece. Oops. We'll do 0.35 and see how that works for us. We might go a little bit higher after this one. Flux is very sensitive. If you do anything a little bit too much, it'll just kind of like wildly explode. So you kind of want to like, yeah, you know, be gentle. Not liking that too much. I don't think we really got the kind of like aerial view that doesn't look super plasticky there. So what we're going to try to do now is we're going to take that depth and we're going to take us back to SDXL. I'll even leave this stuff in, but I'll throw in some other salt and pepper there. F20, and we're going to need to change to our depth map control net. We've already filtered it, so we don't need to do that. And I am going to do this at a little bit of a higher denoising here. I do think that we got this retextured well using SDXL, right? And so we're kind of getting this kind of like corroded rust texture now. Everything's looking like a lot more what we wanted. Let's do one more pass here and just see if we can get that to like really come in with the detail we're looking for. Now this looks really good. What we're probably going to do is just save this out and take this over to the upscaler. So we'll do this. Oh no, we're not going to do that. We're going to do this. We're going to do custom XL. We're going to turn this up a little bit, turn that down a little bit, and we'll go with that. Once this is upscaled, we'll have like a lot more room to play with it. It'll have more detail. And we're going to try injecting some things using Flux Fill. And we're going to see if we can get it to respect the aerial view of this while still being able to inject new concepts in. Yeah, so this looks a lot better, right? Like we've got this compared to this, which was our original. We see a lot more detail, a lot of depth over here. The water looks great. The reflection is cool. And there's a lot of cool stuff over here on this like concrete. But overall, I mean, it's like a cool little like abandoned warehouse type thing. So we're going to take this to the canvas and play with it there. So we're going to come in and we're going to do a little bit of outside the recommended zone here. We're going to do Flux Fill, and I'm going to try to see what we can inject instead of this tall tower thing. Does anyone have any suggestions for what this is? We're not doing a Panda again. Not doing a Panda. We're not doing a Panda rocket. Okay, people are landing on a mecha robot. We'll say turn up our denoising strength and let's see what we get. This could be terrible or amazing. You never know when you're giving all control over to the AI overlords. You never know. In this case, though, I'm not pessimistic. I am very hopeful that this is going to be amazing. Look at that. Look at that whole mech coming in there. Kidding me? Wow. Okay, well, some texturing needs to be done on this thing for sure, but it's definitely physically a cool shape, right? We like the shape, no regrets. So we're going to take that. We're going to create from the bounding box a new control layer. I'm going to use SDXL. I'm going to use SDXL. I'm going to use a depth map, and I really want to keep that depth, but I almost entirely want to throw away all of the texture on this. And so I'm going to, now that we've got this control in place and we'll keep this object there, I'm going to turn this up to like 0.7. We're going to get going here. That's pretty cool. There's definitely some stuff to work with here. Also some stuff to clean up, but let's hide this so we can do what we want to do and clean it up. We'll take some of this down here and we're going to clean up this area. Get some of these wires cleaned up. This stuff cleaned up down there. We're gonna clean up these wires here, maybe. Try to like keep the color consistent, generally speaking. The rest of it looks kind of okay. So I'm gonna turn off our control layer, or at least bring it down dramatically. And then I'm gonna pick Inpainting and Inpaint those spots there. And we'll do 0.5. Feeling good about this whole inject a big robot. Look, we got even got some people down here. Look at those. Oh, you know why? It's trying to make sense of those shadows. Sometimes knowing why it's doing that is like so cool, but you know, it's trying to figure out how to make this work, and so it kind of injected some people walking around. That kind of adds some depth to it. I really like that. Okay, so we've got this like mech now. It's super cool. I'm gonna do one more thing because I like this, but I want to do it a little pass on top of it. Created a new control layer from this like little chunk, and we're zooming in to see it. Probably do some like upscaling here. Let's do this. Small V2. But we're gonna go in and we're gonna kind of like pull it out of this thing, really make it our own. Try to get some like additional color injected in. Oh, you know what? That's why I didn't see it. Okay, apply, Inpaint, mask, and we'll do this. Maybe it's like 0.45. Oh, I like it. Like it kind of like cleaned it up a little bit. Looks a little bit more like on the rails. Nice and clean. Let's do this. We'll do this. We'll come down. Just to help with the composition, I'm going to create a global reference image from the bounding box. So it's like looking at this one area, and I'm just going to do composition. So this is going to help me articulate exactly how this is composed, since it's a little bit of a weird angle. And we're going to say people stand next to the feet of a large mechanized robot. We're going to inpaint this, do a little bit of detailing there, and then we'll call it a day. A lot of fun stuff that we've done today, all injecting and kind of playing around with this whole workflow of using Flux and using SDXL to kind of like get more control over the generative process. But now we've got some like folks down there. They're all standing next to it. And we've got our mechanized guy. Voila. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time. Have a good rest of your week and weekend and all the other fun stuff. And see you next time.